After the Fire Emblem Direct that took place a few weeks ago, it became pretty evident that Fire Emblem has been revitalized into one of Nintendo's main franchises. They revealed a smartphone game, showed off a bit of an upcoming Fire Emblem Warriors game, and even announced that they were working on a Nintendo Switch game that would be released in 2018, making it the first Fire Emblem game to be developed for a home console in over 10 years. But the biggest surprise, even more so than the Switch game, was the reveal of Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadows of Valentia, a fully reimagined remake of 1992's Fire Emblem Gaiden, a game that never even got localized outside of Japan. To any hardcore Fire Emblem fans, this was a huge curveball for a number of reasons. The main reason being that this game is returning back to a time before the tonal shift that took place in the Fire Emblem franchise. Now, I've only played Radiant Dawn, dabbled in Awakening, and I'm currently halfway through Fire Emblem Fates on Lunatic mode, Kill Me Now, but I think I know enough about the franchise to comment on it as a whole. Back in 2012, Nintendo and Intelligent Systems released the game Fire Emblem Awakening, and despite its critical and commercial success, there are a fair amount of Fire Emblem fans that consider this game to be when the series went through a serious transition. A lot of this can be attributed to both the new character designs by Yosuke Kozaki, and to the way the characters were written to feel over the top and artificial. To put it bluntly, Awakening put less effort into characters and map design, and focused more on fan service to bring in a broader audience. The next game, Fire Emblem Fates, has much better map design from what I've played so far, but the fan service elements of the previous game carried over with even more of a focus put into them. Looking back, the reason why Fire Emblem went through this tonal shift with Awakening is pretty clear. The series was starting to die. Path of Radiance for the GameCube sold like shit, and Radiant Dawn for the Wii sold even worse. As sales declined, the series moved to the 3DS to reduce cost. At the start of Awakening's development, Nintendo told the Fire Emblem team that Awakening would be the final game in the series if it was unable to crack 250,000 copies sold. As a result, there was a scramble to create a game that was going to appeal to a much broader audience. Both Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates are some of the best-selling games in the entire franchise for that reason. The reason why Fire Emblem Echoes is such a surprise is because Nintendo and Intelligent Systems are pouring resources into a game that rejects the elements that made Awakening and Fates the commercial successes that they are. Usually when a game studio finds something that works, they will run it into the ground until it stops making money. But the current style of Fire Emblem has shown no signs of dwindling, so there really is no need to do a project like this, at least from a short-term business perspective. The only reasoning I can come up with is that Nintendo is running a test to see if people that complain about the tropes of Awakening and Fates aren't just a small vocal minority. A test to see if there really is a desire for a more grounded Fire Emblem game. The only reason why certain elements were included in the series to begin with was because the series was on its last leg. But now that the series is flourishing again, then maybe those elements aren't necessary anymore. From what I can tell, this seems like a decision that was made with some artistic integrity behind it. They could have just developed another Fates-esque Fire Emblem and have it sell like hotcakes, but instead, they're spending their time on what seems to be an experiment for a niche fanbase of the previous games. And because of this, I think that this game and what it represents is a lot more important than what people realize. Nintendo is taking a financial risk with this game, and if it doesn't sell well, then I can't imagine them trying to do anything like this with the series in the future. But if this game does do well, then that'll tell Nintendo that the series can survive without fan service and broad appeal. And in the future, it'll give Intelligent Systems a lot more creative freedom when it comes to designing Fire Emblem games. This could potentially be a massive turning point for the franchise in a sense of creating diversity and appealing to fans of past games. And not only will the success of this game be beneficial to Fire Emblem, but it could potentially be beneficial to other Nintendo franchises as well. Much like the success of Splatoon instilled confidence in Nintendo when it came to new in-house IPs, the success of Fire Emblem Echoes could show Nintendo that it could be worth listening to their niche and dedicated audiences. Franchises like Metroid and F-Zero could potentially look more appealing to Nintendo from a business perspective, and we could see the revitalization of some older series. All in all, Fire Emblem Echoes is a weird project and I don't think anybody expected it. And the risk that Nintendo is taking with this could potentially have a huge effect on not only Fire Emblem, but Nintendo's business practices as a whole. I myself am looking forward to the game and I hope that the risk they are taking pays off.